I love reviewing copy. I love copy chiefing. I love the conversation about copy. Yes, I am a nerd. But I have found going into the copy and really discussing it, coming up with new ideas and seeing things with eyes that the actual writer can't see anymore because they've looked at it so many times and they're in their own head is brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant for improving copy. So over the next few weeks, I am going to be doing some copy teardowns. Today, I get to talk about my friend Justin Blackman's copy. If you don't know Justin, check him out at Pretty Fly Copy. He is one smart cookie. Hey, Justin, my friend. So fun to look at your copy, and thanks for sharing it with me. So overall, your copy is really good. You have momentum, you have cadence. I feel like, I want to keep reading it. I almost think of it, it's like a funnel. It's like you're drawing me down to the offer, and I really like that. I have a little bit of a concern with the headline and the way that there's no hero section, it just feels like this piece feels hard to get into from a UX point of view. But let's look at the headline. So learn the system and the science to the silly. So are people coming here, do they know that we're talking about like personality driven copy? Or maybe you don't want to call it that, but do they know we're talking about copy, period? Because like I look at this and I think like, are you teaching me improv comedy? Are you like, what are you teaching me here? I really like for the reader to identify immediately like, oh, like lean in, like, oh, that's me they're describing. Oh, you get me. Because the whole idea of you get me leads to if you get me, then your solution must also be valid for my problem. And you have a lot of great lines in here, particularly this little section here. These are the tidbits they slip between the lessons that really make the difference, the good stuff you can't Google. I almost like something along that line for a headline, and with this warning, this workshop doesn't teach you how to write, it teaches you how to write more fun. So I think that lands better for me, learn the system and the science of the silly. I like that, but I might like that sort of as the header here for your courses. Like there is no course here, so no header here, so I would kind of like to see that. I also, it's funny, these colors pop to me much more. I find this kind of gray feels a little dull, so it doesn't pull me in as much as I would like. So I was wondering if like using a picture of yourself, I know you're probably not big on that, but faces really help. And I wish there was more of a hero section. Like I almost want it to be like, it's like the drum roll, da 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 da, and we see the hero and we're like, oh, that's really interesting. And now we read what's below it. And also, because there are no crossheads here, this sort of thing to make everything stand out is the bolding the copy. I just wonder if you could have one or two crossheads here so we could go 1, 2, 3 and kind of get the whole essence of this first section. That's my thought here. Love Kim's testimonial. It's great, especially if people know Kim because she's so well respected. Just some really great lines there. And I was wondering, I'm really curious about your decision here, like why you have both things one on top of the other, and like why you don't, since the academy is the workshop plus the personal stuff, like did you decide particularly not to make this an upsell? Did you want to like have a little comparison right here of the two? I'm just really curious about that. I know if I'm assuming you've done it for a reason because you're very thoughtful, so I'm curious about what the story is there. So I saw your video, which I thought was brilliantly clever, by the way. Really smart. You show the inside of the course, and you've got a video talking about it. I just thought that was really very clever. But I know in there you quote, who says style is the stuff you get wrong. I think it's more potent as a quote when you have the attribution. I like it, but it makes me think. Now, making me think isn't a bad thing, but it's not always great in copy because if I have to think about what it means, I'm no longer like with you and on the page and taking the momentum, right? So I don't know, just a thought whether that's the right headline. Although I like it, I like the concept. I don't know. Love your copy, of course. Very good, very good product of the product because that's the kind of copy you're writing. How it works, what you get, an insult generator. Yeah, I think this is really good. I like that you sell it and you don't oversell it, which I think, I don't know, it sort of smacks of confidence in a certain way. And so now here you do have looking for more coaching. So you are doing an upsell there. And, one of the things I do like about having the two options is, you're giving people a choice, right? They're saying, "Ooh, do I want the academy or do I want the workshop?" As opposed to saying, academy, yes or no, workshop, yes or no. So there's some real benefit to that. But here on your more expensive one, I feel like the hero should be more teasy. It should be more compelling. It shouldn't just be like announcing the title. Like on the other page, you also have the cover and the sale copy, but it's a smaller banner up top, and then you go into the copy itself. This to me feels like you've got this great hero section, and it's a waste of a benefit tease, or it's a waste of space where you could be, making them salivate instead of just sort of presenting, here's the product. So maybe if you could shrink that like you did the other. Great headline. Good writing is not optional. I mean, you could use that for your overall headline too, but that's really good. In this upgrade, you'll get great tips, plus a private community, additional resources, and live monthly group coaching. That means you can submit your copy for review, ensure it's wondermous before you hit send. So what I don't know there as the potential buyer is, am I getting my copy reviewed by you, or am I getting it reviewed by anybody in this private community? And what's the live monthly group coaching like? I feel like this is a really good value, and I don't quite understand the offer, because like if I pay a fixed fee, like is it live monthly group coaching for just that once? Is it ongoing? It's live, so it's got to be just thinking about that. So we'll go ultra note on the formers behind when writing. I'll dissect the science of the silly and translate the styles from the wild from the wild or in the wild, so you can see interesting ways to make your copy pop, complete with real world example of great and not great writing in action. I mean, I think that's brilliant. I would sell this a little bit more. And I think what I would be selling is, what is this additional stuff that you get, and why is it good for you? And I know it's probably kind of obvious, or feels like it's obvious, but I think it's worth doing just, again, for the, make me salivate. You haven't hidden the price, so I already know what I'm looking at, and I think it's priced really well. I think it's great value. But often what we do is we tease it out here. We're going to write this whole long copy, so I'm going to think, oh my God, this sounds so great. It's going to probably cost $5,000, and I won't be able to afford it. And then I'm like, oh, it's only $500. Well, we're not using that device, so I feel like we need just a little bit more meat on the bone here to tease what I'm going to get, or the difference. So in addition to monthly calls, again, how many monthly calls am I? If I buy this package, am I getting forever monthly calls? Because that's what it sounds like, and it's huge. If you have expert guest sessions, does that mean I get access to something where all those guest sessions are already in there? So like, if that's the case, maybe you want to say what they are and what they get, because, anything that makes it look like so much more on top of the workshop, I think it's really important. I'm assuming that you want to sell the academy because it's more profitable for you. And if you're running a monthly group call, you want more people in it, right? So that makes sense to me. So I feel like, and how it works, it's, that's okay, but it's a little utilitarian. Can we give a benefit here? Like what you're going to, you can write it much more cleverly than I can, because I am not a personality copywriter, but how it works feels like, it feels a little bit throwaway. Like, even what you get, or, what you can expect. It's more about them, and it's more compelling. Here's what you get. We already have. Here are the extras you get. These are the extras, but I would like this framed a little differently. I'd like let me see, you probably have a proof point here. No, I would like to see some proof points here. Like what would be really interesting is somebody, and I don't know if you do this, if somebody like bought the workshop and upgraded, do you give the people a chance to upgrade into the academy? That might be really interesting. Oh, I bought into I couldn't believe how great the workshop was, and I got into the academy, and mind blown. You get so much value. I think you're giving a lot of value here, and I think you need to talk about the value in more depth. I think I need to feel like I'm going to be really like held by you and taken care of by you. My work's going to be seen by you. That is huge. That's huge, huge, huge. So I feel like it needs to be teased out a little bit more. Again, love that you share the contents. I've always liked your, pretty fly for a right guy. That's always been cool. Yeah. That's good. I like these testimonials, the black on the white. I found the white on the black really hard to read. I also wish these were kind of, I don't know, the way that they're spaced with the centered, the way they're centered, it's like it's visually jarring, which doesn't pull me into the copy. Yeah, I think maybe even having these stacked on top of each other so they don't look so disparate and like unbalanced. I don't know, something here, because you've got this like incredible feedback, but visually it's hard to get in. It's like, here these pictures are here and these are here, and like, your eyes go to the pictures of people, and so it feels very, well, not very, but it feels a little jarring that they're sort of so scattered. So I think that could help just line them up from a UX point of view, like kind of like you have chems, and you could even have a column like one here and one here, so it doesn't go so deep, and match up the ones that are more the same size. I just have a feeling that people will read them more readily if that's the case, and that's what we want. Sometimes it's nice to have a little help. So your person, I might even say here, or a lot of help, a little help, or a lot some days. I don't know. Or maybe you don't want them to think it's a whole lot of help. Maybe it feels more contained if it's a little bit of help. Fact is, we all have to write. Could be an email or say, okay, love note at the bottom of a napkin. Oh, can you help with those? Yeah, this is really good. And I love this hop on the fun bus to discover it all in less than 2 hours. And I might say something here about, again, I mean, you kind of say it here, I've learned and stolen from lots of great writers, hop on and discover it less than 2 hours. I kind of want to say something about like that 2 hours has been condensed from like 20 years of learning, or however long you've been at this, 15 years, 10 years, I don't know. Like you're a heavyweight, you need to, I mean, I know you say things like, I have 329 clients, and like we get the idea, you've done a lot. But I think you could lay it on even a little thicker. And, if it's challenging for you because it's you, get somebody else to do it. It is really hard to write your own stuff because sometimes, you're good. It's easy to talk about the course, and it's not so easy to talk about yourself. And really, that's what you're selling here. I mean, you are the expert at this. You're the guy. I've been in your workshops. I know what you deliver. You deliver really well, and you over-deliver. So I think we want to get a sense of that here, right? Because like I said, sometimes it's nice to have a little help. Like if you've got Justin Blackman in your back pocket, you've got more than a little bit of help. Just saying. And I know you and I both have a little bit of the self-effacing style, and it can be like charming or annoying in person. I don't think it applies to copy that well unless you're like, Oprah or Seth Godin, or like just somebody who's so well known in your space that whatever you say becomes the new standard. So here we go. Oh, yep. So since you're doing this, I would be tempted, I would make this clearer in the other offer, because it's really smart that you've done it this way, right? That you can upgrade. So it's almost like, and I haven't seen your guarantee. Let me see. I have to click to the page. I would maybe sell a little bit on the possibility that you can upgrade. Like it's almost like not sure. Try it out. I'll respect that, or I'll discount what you've already paid, or however it is that you do it. I think that would be really reassuring, and it would help make a decision, because like maybe I don't know you yet, maybe I'm not really ready to lay down 500, but under 200 seems reasonable. But what if I'm making a mistake and now I've wasted almost 200 because I really want the other, now it costs me 700. Knowing that that's not the case, I think would reassure your visitor, and also makes you seem like a really good guy, which of course you are. But for people who don't know you, it's really nice to know that's part of the deal. Okay, I accept the terms of service. Well, I'm not going to go through this whole thing on here. Hopefully that helps. I'd be very curious to hear what you think. And I love seeing this because I hadn't seen it before. Where have I been?